Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing Cancer reading for April, and what I'm doing for this is a reading that's essentially the same as one that I offer in the description box underneath here. That's called Lenormand 9 Grid. So there'll be 9 cards. I'm not using the Lenormand for these readings. I might, though, if I'm called to. I'm just using whatever deck I feel called to for the sign for the reading. So for Cancer right now, I'm using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And instead of using a deck for the topic / oracle card, I'm using my bucket of charms here. So I'm going to get a pinch of charms, but I'm going to lay out these cards first. So let's see what we got here. I have shuffled them, and after doing grids for a while, I was kind of less finicky about where they are and just let them be where they end up. Although sometimes I feel like I need to move them around, but we'll see. The first pile I put down, I moved it all over with my sleeve, and it was kind of a mess. Okay, still see? Oh, I can actually see all of that still. Alright. For sure. And we get a spoonful of sugar to help that medicine go down. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I had something fall out already. Okay. Laptop was looking at me. Okay. So for April, we have the number 4, which could be foundational. But in general, for me, it has to do with the masculine, the Emperor, overhaul of masculine energy. And we see that there's been, during March, number 3, a huge concentration on feminine energy. Everybody has both. So it's like, you know, putting your pants on one leg at a time. We did the right leg last month, and we're doing, or whatever. I don't know who's which leg, but yeah, we put the feminine pant leg on last month, and this month we're doing the other one. Okay, so for charms, this is an overview of the reading. So I got the laptop out because it was looking at me, and I have the Kama Sutra. Intriguing. Not for the reason you think, though. I have the white flag. I just got this bit from Ace Ventura 2 where he's got the slinky on the stairs and the guy's telling him to hurry up, and he's like, let's do all the things that you want to do. So we have the tree here. To me, this is giving me the middle world. It's a card from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. It has to do with like what's going on in the physical realm. We're not dealing with like the shadows, and we're not dealing with our guides in the extra dimensions right now. We're dealing with what's going on like in the 3D. We need to be present. Let's see what came in inverted. So inverted, I have the bath shower combo here. I'm going to put that upside down so I know it was inverted. I thought this was going to be the F-bomb, but it's the rose. So this is kind of like the Ace of Cups. So that was inverted. Interesting, because the shower could be a whole hell of a lot of cups, too. That's like... Oh, it's giving me 8 of Cups. Interesting. And then the battery inverted. It's like, I don't even have the energy to take a shower. I'm so depressed. It's kind of how I feel right now. Alright, so oh, internet porn, interesting. Okay. It's like I've given up on the real world, and I'm just really depressed, and I'm... It doesn't necessarily mean internet prawns, but it's It's like my only pleasure that I get in life is by zoning out, right? I might be playing Halo or whatever the fuck people play on the computer. I don't remember what games people are playing on the computer. Because I play The Binding of Isaac on my computer. But it's like zoning out, you know, I might be watching how to make yarn at 3 o'clock in the morning. I might be listening to podcasts. I might be watching shows. You know, it's like I'm escaping into a virtual world because I've given up on the material world and I'm exhausted and I'm depressed. That's what I'm getting here. Cancer, why are you in your feels? Although, as somebody with a Cancer ascendant, I could be talking to myself. Okay, so let me flip these cards over. Two of Swords. So this is usually for me like a low vibrational high priestess. It's usually pictured as a young female by the seaside, blindfolded, training with her swords. But here we have a duality. Light and dark, masculine and feminine, happy, depressed, you know, good and evil, all that kind of stuff. Masculine, feminine. It's like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. More cups. 9 of Cups inverted. That looks like pheromone. They owe her some money for that. Or she owes them money, depending on who did it first. See, the 9 of Cups inverted. It's like my dream is washing away. 911 emergency. Look at this is also very much like light and dark. 2 of Cups. Low vibration of the lovers. Interesting. So we have bookended a 1, like a Roman numeral 2 here. Is that in the... Okay. And we got... My shoulder hurts. Okay. The Child. Okay, so this... this deck has atypical... major arcana. This Child card makes me think of the Magician card in the Syrian Starseed deck, which is called Indigo. And I mean, there's sort of purple here, but we could imagine that to be indigo. This is sort of like the inner child being revealed to be like the architect of your soul. Like the inner child is the higher self in disguise. This card is like the disguise coming off, but your ego is like, nah. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Water. Not surprised to see this with Cancerian energy. So we have a 13, which could be death or transformation. In the challenge position, 10 of Cups. So much water here. Like a flood. Open the floodgates. I'm hearing Desperado by the Eagles. Because one of the lyrics is like, open the gates. Open the gate, Desperado. Why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long. Alright, this is on the fence. And it could also be on the offense as well. But this is like, I'm like super depressed. My dream is becoming a nightmare. And here it's like, I'm working really hard on contentment. But what's interesting is kitty cornered in here between this struggle is a relationship. Right? It could be like I feel separated from half of myself, but it also could be I feel separated from my person. Right? Everyone has masculine and feminine energy, and most times in a relationship, someone is holding more of one of the other varieties at any given moment. 9 of Swords. This is a nightmare card as well, usually. But here it's like I'm out of body astral projecting. Like I'm tripping balls, man. Interesting. What is the Nine of Swords, anyway? What the fuck is that? Oh, Mars in Gemini. Okay, that came up in Gemini's reading, I think. And it was inverted, and it was called cruelty. I think this has to do with self-deprecation. This is what the inner child looks like when it takes off its disguise. It's like I've been telling myself that I'm a piece of crap because the ego is like, we're not going to let this out of the bag. And then all of a sudden you realize that the whole time your inner child was this enlightened being trying to get you on your path. And you're like, damn it. Now that really hurts. So we have destiny here. What is this? 16. So this would be in where the tower would normally be. The tower came up in Taurus's reading, I think. Now what's interesting is there's this bird here, which is giving me this. It's giving me a little bit of a harken back to that reading because it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's very fiery looking. But it's also giving me more of air element, especially coming down from this. This kind of looks like the ego being transformed, where this light being comes through the darkness of having been in the world and is saying, no, I am all of these things. I'm not picking sides. My destiny is to learn the darkness of the material world and embody that within my soul and come through this portal and be reborn as like a wiser being. Look at this, the 5 of Wands. Speaking of internet porn, this is actually quite homoerotic. So we have a shift or a pivot, but we also have the friction, like the fighting. What was that? Traditionally Saturn in Leo, which is weird because this is the conflict polarity of Aries energy, because the sort of togetherness energy of Aries is like observation, learning, discussion, discourse, diplomacy, and this is me strong, you weak, like I lead, you follow kind of energy. Like, you do what I'm telling you or I will beat your face in. This is sort of the strong arm of the ego. But what we see here is this sort of emotional transformation. It's like, I'm starting to see how this whole thing works. And now I don't feel as... I don't feel like... It's like, if I know that what the ego is there to do, that it's not just to make me miserable, and that I don't have to fight myself or my person when they act as a polarity, that we can both, like both halves of this thing that's split apart. Right, because I see essentially 2 dream/nightmare cards. This is... And I see 3 cards like this that have essentially 2 figures on them. Something is changing where in order to be, quote, together, there's always something separating us. And if we try to gain balance, usually someone tries to win over the other one, where what you could really do is come to this understanding and like emotional centeredness, to know that everything's there to learn and expand, and that if your inner child is wounded, it's not necessarily this other person's or other portion of your soul's fault. But ultimately, transformation. This destiny essentially being a tower moment is like an overhaul, and this is where it's shifting. Like the reason that everything is shifting is because of the argument, right? It's like I'm in separation from my person because we couldn't talk to each other without fighting. But now it's creating this domino effect where everything else in the pattern is shifting, and the ultimate thing is to no longer feel depressed and drowning, but to have mastered the water. It's like, I've been dunked in that tank so many times, I kind of like it now. You know, it's like, it's very much like Tom Hanks at the end of Splash, where it's like he's realized that he's in love with the mermaid so much that somehow he can magically breathe underwater now. Right? It's like, I've learned how to swim. Like, I don't immediately think that water means drowning because my ego kept splashing salt water in my face. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there. We got 3 minutes. Alright, so if you want to get a personal reading, you can hopefully read that. The list of readings I offer and how much they cost are going to be in the description box underneath here. I'm not even going to put this slide up at the end of the video anyway, but this is just so I can talk about it. You can email me, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com, and if you want to help keep my channel chunking along, you can donate, energy exchange, tip jar, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. But I also have stuff. So if you want stuff, I got stuff. I got merch and prints and actual art items over on these fine sites here. I've got social media. I've got coloring books and a poetry book there. So I've got drawings and paintings and other flat art forms, watercolor, paint, drawings, and various like charcoal and crayon and chalk pastel and graphite. And I got some of these guys over there. A couple of stuffed animals, a couple of spare doll parts, that's over on Etsy. Prints and actual art items, some of the proceeds some of the profits I'm going to be donating to charity. And as I become less broke, I'll be donating more portions. So that'll be awesome. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out JD Tree. Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.